Welcome back to another episode of AFL Unpopular Opinions. I'm Ryan Cook, Tom Rockcliffe, Alistair Lynch, Jack Lindley. Join me, fellas. How was the weekend?
Good weekend. Grandson's first birthday.
Oh,
that's
happy
tiring.
birthday.
Yeah, the little fella.
What's his name?
Theo.
Theo. Shout out Theo.
Yes, Theo. He'll
Theo.
be up and about.
Not a Lynch? Is he Lynch? Not a
No,
Lynch.
he's not a Lynch.
Not a Lynch.
He's a Kilroy, Theo Kilroy. So that was that. Then watched a heap of footy, sort of including the mighty Tassie Devils, who are
3-0.
equal top, 2-0. Yeah.
Up and about.
Yeah, up and about. Very good. Good result.
Yeah.
You reckon the quality of their game was better than a few on display this weekend in the AFL?
Well, I'm a bit biased, but yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Well, against expectations. Well, that was the. It was unusual. A couple of the fixtures with the two games on the one day at Marvel. But if we're going, well, Rocky sort of spends his life in the glass half sort of empty sort of space.
Barely half.
Quarter.
But a couple of those games were terrible. The skills in the North Melbourne Essendon game.
Tough watch.
It was. You think about, Essendon under the pump and they defend well, then work the ball up and then just kick the ball back and concede the other way. That was a hard watch at times. And realistically, the St Kilda Brisbane game was a tough one for most of it until Brisbane got on top.
So the roof was open the night before?
Apparently it was really wet.
No way.
Yeah.
What?
Apparently pre-game they went out there and it was real wet in the first, in the warm-up and stuff. So apparently they played Friday night, opened it up, pissed rain, closed it, wet. It's happened before. I've played there before when
Must
it's been
get
wet.
a bit steamy when they close it in as well.
Yeah. I don't know. It's always cold down there anyway, isn't it, Melbourne? But I don't know if there's any good teams. Well, maybe they all
You've
had
had
the
it
right.
off. You're off it.
I am this year.
The Dogs are a very good team.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think we exposed all the shit teams on the weekend and had potentially our best 3 or 4 that didn't play.
You're not throwing Brisbane in there,
No,
surely.
well, Brisbane are Brisbane, so they were better, but they were ordinary for the start. Then they kicked into gear late in the
It was
game.
their class, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just their talent got them done in the end.
But besides them, so the 3 teams that had the bye, Sydney have looked red hot, Bulldogs have looked red hot, and Suns have looked red hot, and Hawthorn as well. When Hawthorn get up and going, that Sydney game against the Hawks was really good. But besides that, there's not many. Like, probably the only team out of the weekend that we've seen that could do any damage, you'd have to say, is probably Brisbane.
Yeah.
Geelong are just going. And
Collingwood's tough to watch.
Collingwood, Giants have got injury concerns. Crows are probably a bit better than what I gave them credit for. No Dawson, they had a few
Hang
out.
on, you didn't give the Crows any credit.
No, well, that's right. I said they're probably better. But even Freo was a tough watch.
Yeah, they didn't execute well.
Then
West Coast was probably the best watch out of all of them.
West
to be
Coast,
fair.
Port Adelaide is shit. Carlton is shit. Carlton is shit. Carlton's
As we
second
said,
half.
glass half empty.
What did Carlton do about their second half?
Well, tell us about this, and you've played more recent than me. How many days or how many hours are players spending in at the club? Because it's changed a lot. And I remember when 100 years ago when I was playing, Lee Matthews put to us that we could stretch our training sessions, not so much the hour, but we could stretch it over every day. So we'd train 6, sometimes 7 days a week. That was to better prepare us physically and with our skills and that sort of stuff. Just seems like every year it's getting reduced for those contact hours, which for a club like, you hear from Geelong and how they have that balance between lifestyle and time at the club. That's great for an experienced club. But I just wonder whether for the inexperienced clubs and the young guys that need developing physically, but also with you hear about systems and that sort of stuff, skill execution under pressure, more time at the club is probably warranted for those groups that trying to get off the bottom of the ladder.
It would be more pre-season as well. I think that's the killer for these teams, and it's near impossible for them to rebuild because they all want the balance of work-life balance and good for their welfare and whatever, which I respect.
Yeah,
and
but
can have.
that's a really important. But what about your mate?
So when I started, my first year, so Vossi took over. I think they came back the first weekend of October.
Yeah.
So the first week of October. So straight after the grand final, they were back. They'd finished, didn't play finals, and into it. Now, I think you only go for 2 or 3 weeks before Christmas.
Then have 3 weeks
Then
off
have
Christmas.
3 weeks at Christmas, and then you have come back for, say, 2 weeks, and you have a 4-day break over the Australia Day long weekend.
So your
Then you're
contact hours
It's
with the coach
shocking, yeah.
is really tough. And again, when we're choosing that balance, and the balance is really important, and I understand that help players transition into careers afterwards, that's all really good. But if you're a really good team, you've sort of got a lot of those systems and your base of conditioning's in place. So you don't have to do as much as the young groups. I just sort of, it's a question that sort of popped up over the weekend, and I'm thinking, do you get time to spend with these young players to help develop them?
I would say no. So back end of my career was about that. You have 2 or 3 weeks pre-Christmas. So the older guys I can understand, especially like for Travis Boak, he doesn't need to be there before Christmas, for instance. So you can have one-off guys that probably can come back.
Yeah, so here's the one I was going to ask you about. But Travis, and we heard that Merritt and Petrarca were doing training sessions outside, so in their break.
Yeah.
So why are they doing that?
Well, just to better themselves. And
I
be
think
the
that's
best player.
popular with a lot of sports now.
But that's the thing, though.
Yeah.
So if you got your best athletes are going to go in their break, because it's a long break, as you're saying, if they're going out to do extra stuff, why aren't the rest of them doing it?
Yeah, great
And
point.
especially when you're in that. Now they talk again. Life balance is really important. But if you've got a window of say 4 to 6 years, so you get yourself drafted, you would be going all chips in to give yourself the best opportunity. So in these breaks, I mean, at the very least, you'd be going with Travis to do his training sessions.
Yeah.
But why aren't the club actually managing?
Well, they're not allowed. So
But that's the point, though.
Yeah. So the Players Association go, no, you're not allowed to have contact. So this is the big.
Well, if you're going to do that, how can you let these other guys go and do their own
This
training
is what's
sessions?
crept into. No, they can go and do whatever they want, but the club can't monitor. So the club can't say you've got to go enforce this, which I'm with you, because then you can't. You
can't control
where
it.
it's gone to now is you can't check their weights, you can't do this, you can't do that because of all the. So my first year, right, I couldn't run. I couldn't run throughout my whole career, but I played one senior game so far off the pace. Craig Lambert organised Ray Giles for me to go and box with in the off-season. So I went back home to Benalla. I drove to Melbourne 3 times a week, which is a 2-hour one-way. So 4 hours in the car.
Big commitment.
For an hour boxing session to make sure I could get back, and then came back and started running really well, and then turned into a AFL player that could run at the level. I don't think there's that. I don't think there's a will for, maybe it's a society issue, maybe it's not a footballer, but they obviously get there for a reason, they can play. There's not a real hunger to get there. There's a lot of players that are pretty content, I think, with just being on a list. They don't want to get the absolute most out of themselves. And I think that it's crept in. And then we see the product that we get now. We've got players that can't kick, can't handball. If you lined all AFL players up and got them to handball on their opposite end, half of them wouldn't be able to, which is concerning.
Which is concerning because it shouldn't be a development league. It should have been done in the under-18s, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I just think it's a big concern that there's so much coaching still needs to be done, and I get it in the systems, but load for young guys, and your club can't have contact with them. Well, so why aren't the? I think the Players Association. Sorry,
is it a leadership thing where the?
What's the Players Association?
Clubs need.
So you got your representatives who are traditionally experienced players. And I get, yes, at the end of your career, in the prime of your career, you probably don't need the load. You need the maintenance, and importantly, you need the mental downtime.
Yeah.
But in your early years, I think it's a really important conditioning, mentally, physically, systems-based, to actually give yourself the best chance. So I just think, some clubs need to have more access to their players.
Do you think back in your day, you're like, on your off days, that you don't have the social media, you don't have the podcasts. Players have got too much going on, and it does affect the mental health. So, and that
is a really important component. Yeah. But I just think I'm just interested in the physical and mental conditioning of your athlete, because if someone told me, and I don't know whether this is right, was there something about 20 contact hours a week for professional players? That couldn't be right.
So I would say, like, for in season, I know it's not not every club's a bit different. It's not compulsory on a Sunday to do recovery as a unit. Like, it's expected you go and do it by yourself. Jump in a pool, whatever. Most go in and do something. Then you got Monday, you'll be in there most of the day, so you do your recovery stuff, do your reviews, team, individual. Tuesdays, so at Port, main training session, and then oppo analysis, individual one-on-ones, weights, stuff like that. So you do weights Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday off. A few boys go in, do whatever they got to do. Thursday's your actual main training day, light weights after that. Friday, skippers run for a couple of hours and then play.
Yeah.
So,
or maybe it's more than I'm thinking, but it just when we were watching the standard of the games, and you're looking at this gap over the next 4 months might get wider between the top and bottom. How do you bridge that gap quicker? I mean, we see clubs sitting down there for
which
3-4 years.
clubs are we talking about that
are shit?
There's got 4 or 5.
Well, Uze,
off the top of the head.
Richmond are shit.
But they're missing some.
They are missing, but Uze's got the worst record after 45 games, I think, of any
no
coach.
way around that.
So,
but he'll get away with it for a while because they've got these young kids coming through, and they've won 3 flags in the last decade.
So instead of going with teams that are no good, I'll go with teams that couldn't win the flag.
There we go. There's a bit more positive from you.
There's optimism.
Gold Coast, Bulldogs, Swans, and Brisbane. It's down to 4 already, I reckon.
Okay.
Gold Coast, Dogs, Swans, Brizzy.
Yeah. They're the only 4 that can win it, I think. Like North Melbourne are sitting 6th. They're no good. Hawthorn are 5th.
Half empty.
Freo even like...
That first quarter was a little bit concerning,
So I think I sent you a message yesterday. What was it? There was 8 quarters or something like that of no goals from teams, and then there was like 12 quarters of 1 goal.
So what's the reasoning behind that, do you think?
Well, I think it stems from what Lynch is saying, that the contact hours, and then they're just, it's the talent's diluted in the competition. So I'm still of the opinion that we should be at 16 teams. We're going to bring in a 19th team, which is great. I think Tassie deserved the right to have it. But from 2010 onwards, because we brought in Gold Coast and we brought in the Giants, you've got an extra 100 players on list. So it's not necessarily the Giants or the Suns, but it's those clubs from, say, players 30 below on most lists shouldn't be probably playing AFL footy. Mm-hmm. So if you take those teams away, all of a sudden it's 35, and then your quality increases from there. So you get opportunities. There's players now that are playing before their time or probably shouldn't be playing AFL footy, in my opinion. So I think...
So reinforces you need to spend more time with that group to bring the standard up.
That's the other thing as well. So the AFL then bring in this soft cap, which I get. You don't want Collingwood, West Coast to have 45 coaches and the other teams have 3 coaches. But you've got to also go and spend and go and get the best coaches in the game and pay them more. Like the assistant coaches, there's no incentive to be an assistant coach, in my opinion. Like what they get paid, you might get paid anywhere from, I don't know what the minimum is now. Lynch probably has a better understanding, but it might be 80 to 150. And they're contact hours, and they're the ones doing a ton of work. Video, stuff like that.
The coding stuff that they do for hours. So they edit the game and code their players.
In terms of video.
Video. So they can present or have available to present in the meetings the next day. Right. If AI doesn't come up and sort that out, that'll save assistant coaches.
You asked for what players look like, and back into my career, I obviously didn't play in the second half the year I retired, but I went in and did a bit of coaching. I didn't do anything what they did, but Jared Schofield was a midfield coach, for instance. Play Saturday, so he's there coaching, jump on the plane to go home, code the whole way home, probably get through a quarter and a bit, depending where we played, home at midnight or whatever, jump up Sunday morning, code in the morning, potentially go and watch the Sandful team if they're playing on Sunday. So he's there and about, then continue to code, get in Monday morning. They're in there at 7 o'clock doing the review as a coaching department. Then they do a review, they go hands-on with the players for a bit, do some touch sessions, then do the team review, then they start to do individual. So they've got to do team and individual coding. But in the background, they're also prepping for the next game. So they've got to have their coding and edits ready on a Tuesday because the players come in on a Tuesday, training session, this is what we've got coming up. So you've got to
be a real sicko.
There's no work-life balance there.
There's no work-life balance in the assistant coach.
And you do a night game, and these guys are up all night coding. in prep for the next day.
And then it just rolls. So then Wednesday they'll code for the week after so that they can try and get ahead of it. And then Thursday's main training session, work with the players, blah, blah, blah.
Do you have any insight on how the players feel about all the video stuff? Because I've spoken about this on our rugby league podcast. And a lot of the NRL players, you know, you go to training, you get home at 6 p.m, then you got an hour and a half of video stuff to review. Like it's pretty full on.
Well, that's what they ended up doing. They ended up sending edits out. You're expected to watch them at home and stuff like that. So there's a combination, like there's a fine balance, and probably going to generalise the footy population. We're not the smartest bunch of blokes going around. Some of us are visual learners. Some of us are out on field. So they try and find what works for everyone and get it. But too much, you can show too much video. And I reckon Swans did that last year when they redid the grand final. They said they spent 6 hours reviewing that or whatever. Doesn't work for everyone. So there is a combination of finding that balance. You've got to show it so that you can understand it. And everyone learns at a different level. I was probably lucky in I could watch something once and have it understood and then I could relay it where other players... Well, I was lucky that like I probably got as far as I did because of my footy now and my understanding. But some players, it might take them 10 times to watch it. So,
and during the season, you probably don't want to feed them too much information because the best players just react during the game.
Well, that's the thing,
and it depends on their personality as well. They do all that personality profiling how to understand how you learn and situational profiling. So, in what situation do you need information, a lot of information, or you're a bit more dot point just before the game sort of feedback style?
So I reckon it's an AFL thing. I think they should make more of a soft cap so that you get the better assistant coach because there's no incentive. Like you got Luke Hodge, Simon Black, all these great players that have no incentive, Jonathan Brown, Alistair Lynch, that don't want to stay involved in coaching or in that department. They don't really have aspirations to be senior coaches, but they don't really want to do the work balance for minimal pay. They're better off going and getting a media gig or the like. So I think you lose some of your talent that way and potentially coaching. Also, who says it like... There is other ones, like we've seen a Chris Fagan come in from a school teaching sort of background. So there is other components to it as well, but they need to go out and find better. I'd prefer them to pump money into that than into India. Like pumping money into that expansion is not going to improve the game, I don't think. So we need to improve the talent, which I don't know how we're going to do if we bring in more teams because we're eventually going to get to 20. I think we've all accepted that. There's going to be some shit games for a long time.
Do you think with the way the game's going and getting played and it's becoming faster and faster, we're losing footballers and we're developing more athletes now? Or is
I think it changes. With the speed of the game and high intensity running, the athlete slightly changes a bit. So you still, I think it's been reinforced in the last couple of weeks. If you can't kick, you can't play, really. Because we're seeing the terrible turnovers. You're not going to last in the league if you turn the ball over so much.
It's wild to me how many players aren't ambidextrous.
And so, to be fair, so like I remember Lee Matthews. I think it was a bit of a Hawthorn thing, sort of outside of Acker, who was very good on his non-preferred. He always wanted us to straighten up onto your preferred leg. So don't just and not even practice it too much. It was sort of like you've done your practice, now use your preferred foot. So it was very much about straightening up. What you said about the soft cap, I reckon, is interesting as well, because like you have your soft cap and your salary cap. You've got to pay 95% of your salary cap. So you think of this, that Essendon is paying 5% less than the Brisbane Lions.
It's insane.
Yeah, well, they should
be developing more.
Well, and they shouldn't have to pay that much because what you do Essendon would pay 95% and bank 5% to pay hopefully 105% next year. You almost should be able to do that for 10%, so bank more. So then you can have a legitimate crack at what St Kilda are trying to do and land a couple of big name players. But to your point with the soft cap, if you are redeveloping, even within your soft cap, you've got to put more money into the development coaches. So how do we transition these first, second, third year players into elite 4, 5, 6 year players. So, whether that's expand the soft cap or as a club, you're more focused on we've got to spend more here because that's where you've got to develop your talent.
Well, my first couple of years, it was all that. So we used to have to train on the back oval with the Britons and Craig Lambert.
Down at Chris Johnson, was it?
Yeah. You used to get kicked on the back oval if you were a first, second or third year player. And it was not that you couldn't train with the A grade, but it was about developing you as a player and getting better and spending more quality time in a smaller group. And I don't think they do that anymore across the board. But it was like I think we had Craig Lambert, Chris Johnson, Wayne and Craig Britton and Craig McRae. So we were probably lucky with what we had. We had a lot of good people around the club. And they'd take you out and you'd work on your game and get better, where I don't think that happens now, and you can get lost. Because the thing with it as well is the pressure of the coaches, they want to win. They want to win now to keep their job. So how do their focus is going to be on the 25 or 30, and then these 14, 15 at the back end that have either come into the system, besides maybe a first round pick that's playing straight away, they can get forgotten about and don't develop into players that potentially could be.
I reckon, but prior to my generation, the generation before, Hawthorn used to have a place called Brumby Hill. And so if you weren't highly skilled or in the twos, they used to send you to Brumby Hill so you didn't muck up training, basically.
That just sounds bad, Brumby Hill.
Brumby Hill.
Let them loose.
But even, I remember at Fitzroy with David Parker, and it wasn't sort of called Brumby Hill, but sometimes when the coach wants the ball zipping around, you've got a young crab from Tassie mucking training. Over you go. Oh, no. Embarrassing.
Yeah. And you probably couldn't do that now, to be honest. Like there'd be blowback, I don't get to train. And that's the other thing. There is a mentality that these kids get drafted and expect to play straight away. Yeah. Like there is no form of apprenticeship. When we came through, there was an appreciation that you had to do the work to earn the respect of your teammates to get in.
Michael Tuck played in 7 premierships, I think it was, but played 100 games in the twos to start with. A lot of those Hawthorn guys did play a lot of twos games. Do your apprenticeship.
I guess that's also like we're in the space of judging people very quickly and content and social media. Like these young kids don't get a lot of time to prove themselves. We stand for pretty quickly, don't we?
Well, and that's where I think it's important the clubs come out in support and say what the plan is. And so like if you land a first round draft pick, it'd be almost, I'd imagine you'd almost sit down with the parents and manager and say, this is what we've planned out for the next 3 years. The first round draft picks get a 3-year contract, and almost it will evolve, but map out, this is what we want to do. So round 9, if you're playing in the ones, we're probably going to leave you out for that trip to Perth or whatever, give you a couple of weeks off, but map it out and almost put that out there. So that expectations are, well, they're going to rest him or they're going to play him for 8 weeks in the twos to develop his talent. So he's not feeling bad because everyone's potting him. The club's clearly said it. So I think it's really important to support these kids as they do develop and limit expectations or reduce expectations on that, a first round draft pick being a superstar to start with.
And just tell them not to go on social media. Don't read the papers.
Well, as hard as it is, like you've got to try and do that. But like, the other thing to fix it as well is the draw. We can't do this again next year, can we? We can't.
I don't reckon it will happen, will it?
They have to change it because you can't have an opening round and then compromise draw up until round. I think so. Gather rounds the first weekend where we see all the teams.
It is.
So, like, I think it exposed on the weekend how bad the competition is. I think 4 of the best teams weren't playing, certainly 3 of them. Hawthorn, we don't know where Hawthorn are at yet. They obviously got touched up by the Giants, have been good the next couple, but the teams that we've seen on the weekend, bar Brisbane being the exception, they didn't play that well. You would expect them to be up and about come finals time, but we can't have a compromised start to the season because they speak about taking on the NRL, which I think the NRL, from all reports, their blockbuster games are attracting more eyeballs.
Smashing it.
So you have back-to-back games at Marvel on Saturday. Sunday, you have the game kick off at what was about 11:30 local time Queensland, so 12:30. And then you have the second game at about 3 o'clock. It was all over, and there's still a game and a half to go of NRL. Everyone switches over to that. You're not even trying to compete. So the purpose of starting the opening round to take on the northern states, you hand it back to them anyway. And then I think we were looking at the draw as well. I think Pete Ryan wrote an article or something in The Age around how many games are on the Gold Coast and in Sydney over the next 6 or 7 weeks. There's like 2 games or something like that. So you're not even trying to compete with that anymore.
We've built it on about that for 2 years, especially with the GWS and the Suns. Now they're up and going. You can't be selling games to Darwin. But what about, you talk about the inequities of the fixture. So Hawthorn have a bye in round 3 and a bye in round 15. Okay, so they've 2 byes before we go into round 16 where we haven't even got the fixturing done yet. Melbourne have their first bye in round 15. So round 16, sorry. So Hawthorn have 2 byes before Melbourne have 1. That's not right.
That's because they didn't play opening round. So so that's their 2. Yeah, that's a fair stretch, isn't it?
Yeah, that's not right.
Yeah, it's too clunky. There's no momentum to it, and
it's just not thought out. It feels like no one's actually sat down to. Well, it's the pieces
they've
together.
thrown it into AI, haven't they? They've just thrown it in.
Yeah, feels
because
like it.
The next, so how do you end up with a game of the weekend? So Brisbane have played in the last 3 grand finals, got no prime time games. They got a Thursday night this week, Easter Thursday. Besides that, we've got Essendon North on a Saturday night standalone on the week. That was never going to be a good game.
Yep.
Even we expected Essendon probably to be better, but I think over the next 7 weeks or something like that, we have either Richmond, Essendon or Carlton on a Thursday or Friday night, 7 out of the 9 next weeks. Like, they're not enjoyable teams to go and watch.
No.
You end up watching SBS with Lynchy on a Friday night.
I'm not watching SBS.
Maths.
No, I saw Maths was on and I stayed away. But I think this is, been spoken about over the last couple of weeks as well. But even, as you said, played in the last 3 grand finals, Brisbane Lions. They're playing up in the Barossa against North.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
It's humiliating. I don't understand how that happens year in and year out.
You've got to give them a marquee game
Yeah.
at Adelaide Oval. Surely.
But yeah,
And then you got the Sydney and the Suns, probably the best game of the weekend. They're at Norwood. Yeah.
Oh,
and the thing with that, you can change it. Surely you can change it now. Forecast is still 2 or 3 weeks away. You're all in Adelaide anyway. It's not really going to matter.
No.
You want people through the gates, don't you? You want like the revenue to get people in. Change it. Put your best games at Adelaide Oval. But not that that's going to be a good game because it's North Melbourne, Brisbane.
Yeah.
But
give them a good game.
Give them the best day.
Yeah.
It will be fascinating next year when the NFL rolls down to Melbourne on September 11 and it's the first week of finals and seeing who has to play. I can't wait to see that period play out.
Is that this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
September 11.
Yeah.
Friday.
So Friday morning at 10:30 or 9:30 in the morning or something like that? Yeah. So the reason we'll say, if it's a MCG games required, it will be Saturday night.
It may not be the way the season's going. It might just be all Sydney and Queensland teams.
So not to harp on and bang on about it, but I'm going to.
Glass half full.
Brisbane have played in the last 3 flags, so they get Thursday night, then they've got Saturday afternoon against North, Sunday afternoon against Melbourne, Sunday afternoon against the Crows, Saturday lunchtime against Essendon, Friday night against the Blues before we see them in prime time.
It's odd.
They should be. They're going to sell the game, and they normally, when they're up and about, they pack out the Gabba week in, week out. So you can't say that it's not an atmosphere thing or something like that. But complete butch up. Someone's thrown it into AI and it's spat it out, and they've just gone, yep. They have to have.
They need to get on
no
board.
thought about it.
Well, you can imagine because they sell the they send the draft of the fixture out to all the clubs for feedback. There would have been a whole list of feedback. I'd love to get a copy of the email that the Lions have sent back to the AFL with the questions around the fixture.
We used to get, because I'd never played a Friday night. I think I played one Anzac like 6 o'clock or something in New Zealand.
Didn't win much though, did you?
No, but that was the thing. That's what the reason was. Well, you aren't any good, so you don't deserve it. Fine, no worries, can accept that. Now they've been in 3 flags and they still can't get them. So something's up.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. Have Tassie got a new coach yet? Because there's going to be a fair few vacancies.
Jeremy Webley's at the top.
You're probably going to have to
Talking about soft caps, you're going to have
You're
Mr.
probably gonna have to
Scott,
sign someone soon.
Vossi.
You're going to have a few options.
Yeah.
I reckon we've got to ideally sign someone at the end of the season.
Well, you're going to... I just ran some numbers over the weekend.
You've had a busy weekend, haven't you? Far out.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to snap up either if you think one of the best coaches is available now or wait for... There'll be 4 or 5 vacancies this year.
List them, man. List them.
Oh, here we go.
I think pending... North Melbourne have been better, but I think Clarko's in a bit of strife.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think Josh Carr is an interesting one. He's not going to get wrist hold. Obviously, his first year. But
geez, you're harsh with your
well,
own club.
Not harsh. You leave out a Brownlow medalist and play him in the SANFL.
What's going on there?
Bizarre selection.
Is he coming back from injury or something?
So he come back from suspension, but there's been no SANFL games, so none of them have played.
Yeah.
And
That did seem odd.
they've picked effectively Will Brodie over him, which then you go minus 15 in clearance and get beaten up by West Coast. So
he's back in this week, surely.
well, you'd think he'd be a walk-up start, but I wasn't confident listening to his press conference on the weekend.
Really?
Well,
Well,
he just said that he was comfortable with the decision that they made.
Wow. You look at someone like Ollie Wines, Brownlow medalist, and how old is he? Is he that
A
old?
few years younger than me. He'd have to be 32 or 3.
Oh, righty. So he's he might be a handy development player for Tassie when they come in.
There you go.
Development. Yeah,
Well,
he won a Brownlow 3 or 4 years.
one of those players.
Getting up and running, getting
at
the
end of
second
his career
Brownlow.
that, develops the young kids.
Well, yeah. Oh, sorry. He's only 31.
There you go.
So he's still a pup. Ross, St Kilda, might be a vacancy
they'll
there.
be right. He'll be right. They were all right. They only got done by the reigning premiers.
They've been ordinary.
You haven't seen much from them.
Carlton.
Yeah.
Vossi's in a bit of strife.
Just a bit.
Oh,
How energy sapping would that be? Being coach. How would you go as coach of Carlton at the moment? I mean, you've coached them to be 43 points up in the first half.
They just got to get back on the bus and start again.
Yeah, just go back to whatever he said at the start of the game.
Yeah.
And do
What's
it again.
his half-time speech?
Because
Scrap that.
It's been horrific.
Yeah.
They stop.
I was running around with the boys in the backyard having a bit of a water fight, so I didn't see it inside.
Run us through that.
Well,
Be more interesting than talking about Carlton.
I've got a
900th
hose in
time.
the face from a young fella, and then water gun. Then he started trying to shoot downstairs, and that hurt a bit. But anyway,
Jeez, right.
Especially with your operations you've had recently.
well, I think I'm.
No, right.
almost-
Must have a good
Back to Carlton.
Carlton have a mindset, and you can see it, I reckon. They all try and win the game for them. So the pressure comes on, they all want to do too much instead of just doing the basic thing. So in that second half, I've seen enough of it that instead of just giving that easy handball, just instead of taking that uncontested mark, they all want to do too much and try and win the game. So they're all trying to do the right thing.
Is that because it's constantly being called out? Who's the leader of this club?
Well, potentially, and they know that the pressure's coming, and opposition teams would be into them. If I was playing against them, I would be spraying them at half time. No matter how far
you're
they're
43 down.
it's
you're
all
giving them a
over.
cook.
We know that we're going to win this
Spraying
game.
them downstairs with the hose.
Your mental demons start to creep in. And you can see that they freeze up. They play a different style, whether it's, I don't think it's coach-driven, maybe coach-driven, highly doubt it, but they all go into this, not self-survival mode, but it's all they want to win the game for the club. So they all try and do too much. There was a clip of Paddy Cripps, and he got done holding the ball, and he spent most of the third quarter in the front half, and on the outer side, he tried to do a spin. He had 4 handball options. Just give it. And then allow that teammate who's facing the goals to find an uncontested mark, take the pressure off, but they all want to win the game.
That's what happens when you panic, though, isn't it? You think, I'll get it done.
Yeah.
I'll save the team or something like that. When, more often than not, it's just you got to stick to the same boring stuff.
Well, that's
and
what
be
wins.
predictable.
Wins.
Yeah. And the thing, talking about going your contact hours with clubs, I mean, you practice, if you've conceded 3 goals in a row, you go into a drill.
Different mode.
Yeah. And it just doesn't look like they've got that yet, or certainly not executing it well. But they've just got to stop the run on. But in saying that, stop the run on, they weren't banking on Cozzy Pickett just putting on an absolute clinic. That was near his best half
Yeah,
of footy he's
so
ever
good.
played, isn't it?
Yeah, and then that's the accountability thing as well. Like someone needs to lock him down. So maybe that's from the coaching box that they need to go and try and shut that down.
Yeah.
It's hard to stop because he's got
Goodness,
got some wheels.
That last goal he kicked, it was kind of off balance, just waxed on the right boot.
One step.
50 out, no worries.
No right.
Yeah.
No bloody
Incredible.
right. Yeah.
So that was great for him to raise the bar after a quietish first half.
Yeah.
But what he had 9 score involvements in the second half, 19 touches, a goal.
Incredible.
And amazing. And Gorney does what Gorney does. And to honour him in that way was huge. And Tom McDonald, should say.
I don't think we talk about Melbourne enough. Like, they've had 2 really good second halves now. They did the same kind of thing to St Kilda a few weeks ago. Like, they kind of get lost in this whole thing because it's all about Carlton. But
Well, we spoke
Because
about
we've been glass half empty.
yeah,
we spoke about last year who you'd want to coach, and I said Melbourne if you're going to take
did.
over. Because
So who would you do now? So 3 or whatever, we're 4 weeks in, whatever it is.
who are we sacking though?
No, not sacking.
You've got the list, mate.
all
You've
about
got the
sacking. It's
list.
not about-
I haven't got
Ending
through
someone's
Essendon,
career.
Essendon and Richmond are on a watch as well.
So,
Uzo's
all
on
right,
a
so I'll
watch.
give you the choice. Would you rather coach Richmond, Essendon, Carlton, or West Coast?
oh, that's easy. West Coast.
They're up and about.
Yeah.
2 wins in a row, mate.
Well, that's it. Well, 2 wins.
They're
in a
making
row.
the top 10. They're in the wild card.
Who would you take there, you reckon?
Yeah, I think West Coast. Oh, gee.
West Coast have hardly won a game for 4 years.
Richmond have got good kids.
Can't we throw Port in there?
You throw Port. You could throw St Kilda.
One of the tougher ones.
You could throw North Melbourne in there. You could throw Melbourne in there.
Who would you coach? If you had to pick of them outside the ones that have
You
won
gotta
a flag in
think
the
of
last decade.
expectations as well. Like if you take over the Dons, it's not the same expectations as Port Adelaide's.
Isn't it, you reckon? What, take over the Dons?
Yeah.
The expectations for the next
Well, they
coach
haven't
there.
really communicated the expectations yet. That's
They haven't
the
at
half
Port
the
Adelaide,
issue.
though.
Well, neither of them have said they're in a rebuild.
Yeah.
Both
Yeah.
of them are in a rebuild. And
Well,
I
Essendon
think-
have said they've got a strategy
well,
that
I
they're
think
following.
they pretty much admitted on the weekend that they're in a rebuild, which is bizarre because they go, we've got to. Scotty did his press conference, and I know I bash him a lot, and I'm going to bash him
Here we
again.
go.
Mate,
He came out and said that
We all
we've
died.
got a clear strategy and we're going to have short-term pain, but the long-term to set the club up.
Yeah.
Fine. Why did you keep Zach Merritt? Explain to
Yeah.
the supporters why you didn't take 3 first-rounders for him. Because if that was your plan, Zach Merritt's not going to be part of your next premiership team or your finals team.
No, they need those 10 touches,
So that's
mate.
where the confusion is at. Like,
But what I'd say in defence of that is if the strategy was to redevelop and develop a new list to turn over a heap of players, you still need, you can't go back to the bones. You still need some experienced players to teach standards. And we spoke about Merritt and his training standards before.
Yeah.
So you need someone there.
But
you can't just go back to young kids
it's tough
teaching young
because
kids.
it's like, yeah, you want those leaders there, but this guy's come out and publicly said he wants to leave and trying to force.
But
so where's his mindset going to
all-
be? Is he going to put in those hours with those younger
Well,
players?
he always, so all reports are Zach's very much Zach mentality and gets an absolute most out of himself, which I don't think anyone can criticise.
Yeah.
He's won 6, 7 best and fairest. He gets the absolute best, but he's not great at bringing others along with him. Like he's very much Zach, very individual, almost borderline selfish mentality. Where I think you've got, they do have some senior guys around there. So I would, if you are rebuilding, which I think we can acknowledge that they are rebuilding, you take 3 first rounders because you've got a compromise coming up with you guys coming in, with Tasmania coming in.
Yeah.
And it's already compromised enough with father-sons and stuff like that.
It's tough though. It's tough though from a club's point of view. You got clearly your best player and your captain saying I'm out, and you go, oh yeah, okay, well that works all right for us. Away you go.
No, but
as the second or third best player at the club, I'm going, well, I'm out too. Actually, I wouldn't mind going getting the flag somewhere else.
You
it's-
expedite the rebuild.
Well, you've got to make... Well, no, then you're going back to the bones and you've got no one to actually mentor these kids.
So then, but if you lose Merritt, right, he goes and you've got 3 first rounders and you've got room in the salary cap now because your money's spent on kids instead of on a Zach Merritt, then you can attract the talent of a...
but
a free agent, you can go, look, you can see what we're doing here. You can see that we've gone chips in on the draft. So not next year, probably the year after. So in 2 years' time...
But where are you going to get that free agent from? You're not going to go to one of the other battling clubs and say, look,
No,
we'll triple your pay and come here. And they go, well, no, I've just been 6 years on the bottom of the ladder.
No, you get an interstate kid that's coming back. So you target who in the competition. Is it a Bailey?
Zach Bailey?
Well,
Humphrey?
Bailey Humphrey at Gold Coast or King, or someone in Sydney that's potentially you can drag back. That's what I would have done. And I'm not inside, but I think there's confusion with, well, why did you keep Merritt and not take 3 first rounders if you are rebuilding? So I think there's confusion.
Well, yeah, but I reckon there's two sides of that argument.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
We're keeping him because we are rebuilding and we need someone to set standards and protect the kids. So, yeah, I get what you're saying, but I'd be erring on the other side. Otherwise, you just opening the damn wall and they're all off.
Yeah. 100%.
But you would say what free agent do you attract? You would have said the same thing about Brisbane in 17, 18, and then all of a sudden Lachie Neale comes out. No one would have thought Lachie Neale would leave Fremantle. All of a sudden the opportunity comes to go to the Lions. He has a really good Josh Dunkley.
But the Lions had showed they'd changed the culture a little bit.
A little bit, but he came in 19, so I think they won the Spoon in 18.
Yeah, so you do have to break the cycle. And I reckon they started breaking the cycle probably, and the Gold Coast did that as well, that you sort of got to pay some players overs to actually break that cycle and then retain them. But yeah, I mean, Brisbane did do it exceedingly well. And yeah, maybe they look like they were advanced on Danaher.
You get
Charlie
lucky
Cameron.
with Danaher and stuff as well, but then you bring a Luke Hodge, so you bring someone that's older. So you if you're Essendon, you might go Ollie Wines, come.
Well, absolutely, I would
teach our boys. So I think that's where they missed, in my opinion.
So it's almost like GWS's startup.
Yeah.
So let's get the best kids we can, but let's put Luke Power, Dean Brogue and James McDonald around them to support
these
them.
older guys,
those guys. So, yeah, it's a tough one, and I think list management is a very difficult job, but, you're going through a difficult period, a few clubs.
Long-winded, who would I want to coach?
Yes.
Don't get us started on Essendon.
Did we throw North Melbourne in there?
Yeah.
Well, it looks like you've just
at the Giants
started your job at the Giants.
Yeah, well, you can pick the Giants if you want.
The Giants, but they're just in injury.
Giants are just injured. They'll be real good, I think, after they got the bye this week. No.
Well, the Giants, you play 7 venues in the first 10 rounds.
Yeah.
You want to coach them?
Nah. Well, frequent flyers. Good at the end of the
I
year
don't
when
think
you
anyone's
go to
taking their coach's job anyway.
Nah.
I think it's between West Coast and North for me.
As the best options?
Yeah, 100%.
And it's probably a reflection of they've spent so long, relatively speaking, at the bottom, they've just got mass top-end talent now.
I think you'd probably go West Coast on the basis that they've got the club financially in much stronger spot, so you can rebound really quickly. They've got that new corridor of their recruiting base that they can open up in Perth. So, yeah, probably West Coast.
Yeah, wouldn't be a bad gig.
When do you reckon they're just going to open the floodgates and start spending money?
Well, that's why there's salary caps.
Yeah, like I feel like they're almost at a point now where they can start thinking about it.
Yeah, well, they would they'd be spending 95% probably. It's hard,
and they'd be almost manipulating the 95%. They'd be making sure the books show 95%, but what you're doing there is you're front ending some contracts as well to pay overs to get yourself to 95%. So essentially, you're paying 90, and you can load up in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
So yeah, a number of clubs would be doing that, and that's what would have allowed St Kilda to, seemingly overspend. Is essentially pay 90%.
Yeah. Okay.
And just front end some deals.
So they got the Swans on Saturday night. Are we giving them any chance there back home in Perth?
Oh, I mean, you give them a chance. They've been good in the second halves the last couple of weeks, but I don't think so. Not against Sydney. That's a different beast.
Sydney off the bye.
I think Sydney are a bit better than Port Adelaide and North.
That's a fair point. Yeah.
So, yeah, Sydney off the bye. Kerno be looking to have an impact. Big open ground over there. I think, Sydney by plenty.
By plenty.
What about your money laundering game here? You got the Western Bulldogs are $1.01 against the Dons, $19.
That'd have to be the highest odds, wouldn't it? We've seen ever.
That's ridiculous.
Or for a while.
I think the Richmond Carlton game last year, the Tigers were around that mark.
And they won.
Yeah.
The Dogs at Marvel Stadium could kick 200.
Okay.
They could kick 200.
Tassie having a field day, you reckon? Could get a 10.
Oh, the Bont plays forward.
Drifting.
Like Tim English in the ruck's going to lay down.
Oh, he'll have a field day.
Like Essendon, yeah, they're probably a bit undersized in that department, aren't they? Ruckman-wise. So Dogs out of the middle, deep inside 50, goal, Norton. They've got different options down there. They could kick 200. When is it? You might lock into that.
Sunday night.
Sunday night, 7:20. All right.
That's a game for the same game multis, everyone.
Yeah.
Goal kickers galore.
Are we doing next Monday?
Might be a Tuesday after
because it's
Easter clash, yeah.
So 7:20, yeah. We might be in here on Tuesday. They might have kicked 200.
You reckon the bullets through Brad Scott if they go down by 100 points?
Oh, well, they're going to lose by 100, aren't they, anyway? Are they? They are, aren't they? They can't defend.
Well, they struggle to defend. They were better defending, weren't they?
No, well, North
First
Melbourne,
quarter, yeah.
North
They were
Melbourne,
better.
North Melbourne were 40-something points up against them. And North, when we're saying aren't real flash, and then they put the queue in the rack. And the scoreboard flattered Essendon on the weekend, I would have thought, to be 12 points.
Essendon just kept kicking them back to North. It was frustrating to watch. Seriously.
They had that moment at like the start of the third quarter, or midway through the third quarter, where they kicked a couple, and it looked like, oh, there's a little bit of fight here, but that was about it.
If they turn up like they have against Port Adelaide, even North, and then Hawthorn, they're literally witches' hats. Western Bulldogs could put 15 on them in the first quarter.
And we've had Redmond go down now. There's just no one that's going to stand up in that back line.
If the Dogs kick straight, they could kick 15 goals.
That's a big if with the Dogs.
What was the score that Essendon put up against Gold Coast
in their first year?
At Marvel.
It was a lot,
See if you
wasn't
find
it?
that, Jack. You're the numbers man. So
AFL tables?
2001 of those years, I think.
It was a lot.
I reckon they kick 15. I reckon that Dogs will give that a run for their money.
What's an acceptable margin from your view? I'm going
50
glass
points.
half full here.
50.
50?
If they get within 50, they'd probably chalk that up
compete.
as a win. There you go.
It's a tough challenge taking on the Dogs.
You blokes will be at the Gabba Thursday night, I
Yep.
imagine? Front and
Yeah.
centre? Kiss a baby, sign autographs.
Lynchy will be.
And it's disappointing to see for the Pies, Darcy Moore out. Pendlebury sounds like he won't be playing as well. But yeah, outside that last quarter, the last couple of weeks, the Lions haven't been exactly flying. Come off that probably match of the year so far, Dogs Lions first in the opening round, but since then they haven't been going too well.
So that game you're talking about, 2019,
You've got it?
You got it? Yeah.
No, you've got it.
I've snaked
No,
you
you've
again,
got
mate.
it.
I'm the numbers man. What was it? So Essendon, 33, Western Bulldogs, 137.
Oh, no. No, I'm talking about
No,
Essendon,
Gold Coast.
sorry.
Oh, Gold Coast, okay.
But what's that? It'll be a bigger margin than that.
Well, that's
In
just over 100
2019.
points. Yeah, 2019.
Nah, it was the first quarter, Gold Coast in their first year, I reckon, at Marvel. And Essendon put up, I want to say, 15 goals.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe 2011, Lynchy.
Right,
2011, yeah, I've got it
onto
here.
it now.
Essendon were 31-11 for 197 to 58.
Yeah, so they kicked 15-4 to 1
in the
point
first quarter.
in the first quarter. So at quarter time, they were up by 93 points. I think we might see better than that.
They defended better in the second quarter. Did they win the second quarter? They won the second.
They won the second quarter.
Well done.
Yeah,
Just
only
win
down
small
by
steps.
only down by 79.
Only.
111 at three-quarter time, though. 197 to
They won't do that.
58.
You're too negative.
197 to 58. I reckon we'll see better than that from the
No,
Dogs on the
no
weekend.
chance.
There you go.
Before we get out of here, the biggest news of the weekend. Kylie's getting the grand final.
Oh, look
I
out.
thought Rocky would be up and about for this. And
Kylie?
Lynchy, a known music listener.
Oh, yeah.
Loves his tunes.
I spoke about this on the wireless this morning.
Did you?
Yeah.
Are you a Kylie fan?
Well, you know where Kylie got her start?
Fitzroy.
At Fitzroy. At the Players' Review in 1985. The Neighbours
Keep going.
the Neighbours crew
What happened?
used to this is before me. The Neighbours crew used to come and help the players do their Players' Review, and they were talking in the cast to sing, and they said to Kylie, "Sing." And she said, "Well, I don't know any songs." "Well, just sing your favourite song." She said,
She
"Well,
sang.
my favourite song is Locomotion, so I'll give that a crack. All right, away you go.
Turn her into a mega superstar.
Yeah. Fitzroy made her.
Humble beginnings.
I'm just not maybe I'm not a Kylie fan, but...
What? She's one of Australia's biggest ever acts.
Yeah.
It's a step down, though, from the Katy Perrys, I have to say.
Katy Perry, Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Jeez, you blokes are glass
I'm
half
just got to
empty,
be
aren't you?
honest here.
Really?
Like,
Yeah.
you're talking... Yeah. For me...
For an Australian star,
Yeah.
doesn't...
Give me Shannon Noel.
Oh, now, hang on.
Robbed.
You've spilt your glass now. You haven't even got half an empty.
I just think, just for an AFL... not for me, but that's...
Not for you.
I'm not
One
really...
of Australia's biggest stars.
I'm not a big muso, so it doesn't really affect me.
Obviously. Nosy.
What about you? But you're no good. So you don't rate her.
I like Kylie.
I reckon it's a great get.
Yeah.
Is she still doing shows? She's getting on.
Oh, hang on. Hang on. I'm still in the room.
The
She'd be my age, I reckon.
The one good thing...
You're not rolling out for an AFL game anytime soon.
Exactly right.
The one good
She's
thing
playing on grand final.
that AFL have actually done is just locked in the afternoon grand final, so we don't have to talk about that.
Yeah, it's
for
good they
another
made the
2
decision.
years.
Yeah.
Why don't they just lock it in for 100 years? Like
Because
the
it's
grand
not
final's
going to be the
there.
case.
What, you want the night?
I want Twilight. What's the only red ball game we have in the final series?
Yeah, but I reckon it's fantastic. I don't like so NRL play the night. It's just too long.
The night, yeah, I think night would be too late.
You want like a 5:30,
No, I just leave it at 2:30.
I'd go 4:30.
4:30.
Personally.
Play the 2:30.
Did you went to the one at Brisbane at the Gabba? The night game grand final?
No, we lost. We were drowning our sorrows. We lost by a goal against Richmond the week before.
Oh, did you? Oh, sorry to raise that. No good.
I've moved on.
That was good. That was a great atmosphere there.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'd go Twilight. But I get it. Most of the fans want day game, so yeah, I'm glad they made the decision.
Would it be dark anyway? Because is daylight saving started then? Not quite. It's a week after.
Oh, is it? Yeah, maybe.
Because it'd be still sunny late anyway. I don't think you get the full effect of lights because the Gabba works because it's dark here early.
Yeah.
But
anyway.
Yeah, Kylie, no for me.
No from you. Yes from Lynchy.
Yes from me.
What are you hoping she sings?
Yeah, can we get a song?
Well, I can't.
Give us
I don't know.
Oh, he doesn't know any of the songs.
No. Well, Locomotion's only one I know.
Just really love her old stuff.
Yeah, just like the first one, basically.
Locomotion.
1985.
Oh,
she's not going to roll that out.
I can't get you out of my head. There's that one. Spinning around, I think, was a big one for her. Can't tell.
Lack of respect, you blokes.
But you can't name a single song.
I don't know a song.
She's a star. Come on, give us one.
Yeah, Locomotion, I'll give you that.
An Australian icon. Very good. Boys, that might do us for this week.
Wrap it
Excellent
up.
episode, if I say so myself.
Yeah,
Did we get to our topics? I had them on my pad.
What did you
Yeah, where is the pad?
Oh, no, I left it in the car. Brought it, but forgot it in the car.
What topics?
I don't know, I can't remember.
Happy Easter.
Can you give us a little clip for April Fools that we can use? Maybe a false Tassie announcement. You've officially folded, or you've signed a day cost.
I was considering that, thinking let's go for an April Fool's thing, but then I'd get the kicked out of me.
Come on.
It'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
We'll announce our first senior coach.
It'd be good for us.
At the end of the video, you can say April
views.
Fools.
Yeah,
It's all about views and clicks. We're living in a modern world.
That's right.
This is your main job here. Neds.
Don't worry about the board. It doesn't pay.
Maybe it's on the rock work.
Yeah.
Maybe Rocky's got one. Are you coming out of retirement?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he'll announce me as his first coach. Yeah. He's just heard me the way I'd build a list.
I reckon the way and your sort of outlook on life of
Positive.
No nonsense.
Positive, yeah.
The weather would get me perfect in Tassie.
Don't start the weather. Beautiful weather. You watched the last two games of the Devils?
New stadium.
Magnificent new stadium. Beautiful. All right, that's it. Wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, there we go.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website